Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing some true crime stories. I've done all the research myself on the internet and through articles, so it might not be 100% accurate, and I don't want to cause any distress to anyone regarding these stories. Some of them are solved, some of them aren't, but I wanted to get that out there before we started. And I'm Katie, so I hope you enjoy my video today. Today we're going to talk about the knotty murders, which is literally up the road from where I live. It's in Liverpool, England, and it happened in the 60s, and it's still not solved to this day. So Brian and Maureen Dutton were just a normal young married couple. They had a little child called David, and he was 2 years old, and she just recently gave birth to another son, Andrew. They lived in Thingwall Road, which is literally round the corner from where I live now. They're just a normal, happy, quiet family. Everyone who knew them said they were just a nice, happy family. Maureen was a housewife, which was the norm back then. Brian was a research chemist working at the ICI establishment in Widnes. And then it was just before Christmas, on December 20th at 8 AM. Brian had left for work after taking Maureen up a cup of tea, which he'd done because she was still in bed. And Maureen made plans that day to take David to the local nativity, which was at the parish church nearby Childwall. But it was so cold and foggy, she didn't want to take Andrew because he was only 22 days old at this point. So she asked Elsie Dutton, which was Brian's mum, which was their mother-in-law, would she mind Andrew that afternoon while she took David? So she said yeah. So she called down that morning, went to see them, and then she'd left and said I'll be back soon, well, this afternoon. So she phoned about 1:30 and said I can't make it because the fog was that bad, so she couldn't mind baby Andrew. And then obviously Maureen Dutton didn't go to the nativity, and no one heard nothing or anything. So Brian come in with roughly 6:10 that evening. The lights weren't on, nothing like that, which was unusual because there was a newborn there, a little 2-year-old. She'd be cooking the tea or anything like that, but it was just dead silent. So as he's come in, he's noticed on the first living room table that there's still half-eaten lunch on the table. And then when he's walked into the back living room, that's where he's found Maureen on the floor with Andrew still in his crib and David just lying sitting next to her in a daze. And she'd been stabbed 14 times in the back, throat and chest. There was no sign of forced entry, no sign of sexual assault. So all you can think of is that she knew the killer. So Brian obviously alarmed the police, and then the hunt was on then. So the police searched all streams, drains, bushes in the Knotty area and Dovecot, which is another surrounding area, to find this murder weapon, which they thought was just a long blade, but still no murder weapon's been found even now. The murder hunt was operated by Old Swan Police Station, which is about 15 minutes from Thingwall Road, and was led by Chief Superintendent James Morris of Liverpool CID, but there was no solid leads. It appeared Maureen had let the person in willingly, as there was no signs of anything. There was no signs of defence wounds or anything like that either. No struggle around the house, nothing was robbed. No one in the area had heard anything. No screams or any other sounds. or no one had seen anyone coming out of it or going into their house in the afternoon either. 1,000 people were spoken to and some 20,000 statements were taken within a month. Local sex offenders, local burglars, they were all interviewed, but they were all eliminated one by one. Davis was monitored constantly by a policewoman. Sorry. Fucking hell. Start that again. Davis was monitored constantly by a policewoman. Even though he's only 2, he might have just babbled something or give them a clue, a hint, or anything, because he was literally the only eyewitness, which the thought of a 2-year-old witnessing something like that is just vile. So but he never remembers anything, and he never babbled anything, and he didn't remember anything to this day as well. But that led to no avail because he was too young. But the city press jumped on it, which is the Echo, which did help, and it become frontline page, the Knotty Ash murder, or have you seen the running man, which got a lot of publicity and did help with several leads and several theories more so. Three of them did seem promising. A report came through of a man who was operating on the pretense of being a doctor, visiting women who had recently given birth and asking them to undress so he can examine them, but then he was assaulting them. And just the day before in Halewood, which is about, I think it's about 30-minute drive from the Knotty Ash area, a woman had just recently given birth, and a man knocked at the door, and he said he was the doctor, and he assaulted her, and she told her husband, and he phoned the police. He spoke to the police and phoned round to hospitals and that, and there was no doctor on call that day in that area. And the man was described as being between 27 and 30, and he wore worn horn rimmed glasses and a dark grey coat. But there was no lead to that, and no one came forward about that. And then the neighbours in Knotty Ash began to talk about apparently a good looking stranger. He was quite young, and he had a leather jacket, and was seen several times that day in the area of Fingwall Lane, which is literally on the side of Fingwall Road. And according to witnesses, he was spotted running very fast down the road that afternoon, and not long after he was spotted being violently sick on the Methodist Church at Bycourt Methodist Church. Even though he was being sick, people remember it because he kept his hands in his pockets the whole time he was violently sick, which I know I wouldn't, and I don't think many people would keep their hands in their pockets while they're vomiting all over a church step. But no one came forward about that, and no other leads on that. And then another one was a young blonde Irish woman. She was seen getting a 10D bus, which is a 12-minute walk from Dingwall Road, and it's on East Prescott Road, which you can see in the picture. And she got on that, but she kept babbling on the bus, saying, I need to get out the city, I've done something terrible. And then when she got off at Lime Street in Liverpool city centre, she kept babbling, oh my god, over and over again, but no one came forward about that either, so there's no lead to the Irish woman ever heard of again. But one of the most bizarre theories, which nothing is surprised me now, it was considered Maureen may have been a sacrificial cult killer. It was believed a Polynesian cult may have killed it as a sacrifice to their god Tiki, because it was believed that the cult had some followers in Liverpool area. The member of the cult believed in making sacrifices to Tiki during the winter solstice, which is in the time period Maureen was killed. Members of the cult were believed to have a reverse swastika, I think that's the right word, tattoo up on the left arm. It's like a symbol on their arm. And then not long after, I think it was 1962, a 20-year-old male nurse living in Upper Parliament Street, which is like Liverpool city centre area, was arrested and charged with theft of drugs and equipment from 3 Liverpool hospitals. And he was also said to have that tattoo on his arm, and was also said to masquerade as a doctor. But even though he was spoken to and that, and they thought it was the breakthrough that they needed for this crime, he was eliminated as a suspect for the killing. And still to this day, no one's been caught for the crime. No one knows who's done it. There's been no other leads, nothing. You know, they could be dead by now, the killer, because it happened that so many years ago, or have they died and took her to the grave with them, or are they still alive and still haven't admitted to it, or does someone know and they haven't told because they've got a loyalty to that person? You just don't know. But if you do have any information about it, write down in the comments or go forward to the police. But anyway, up to now we don't know and we'll never know. But thanks for watching, and good night and God bless, and don't let the bed bugs bite.